tonight. We really appreciate everybody's support. The Nave Museum is really quite the gem in our community. I mean, I love what it does. I love what we're doing. I love what it says. And I love having everybody here tonight supporting us. Our exhibits are great, and our artists are great too. And I want to thank a few people before. This thing's I want to thank John Ryder and Joe Ball, who will be hosting our patron party tonight. Their home is delightful, and I hope everybody will make their way on over after the artists speak. I also want to thank Expressions Floral Arrangers. They did the floral arrangement at John Murray's house. It's on the dining room table, and it's beautiful. I want to thank In on Main Street. They put up our artists tonight and for the closing party, and we appreciate their support. Let's see, I think that's all I'm thinking. I do want to thank Mayflower, Armstrong Mayflower, because they store our paintings, and we added the 2 Nave self-portraits to our permanent collection here in the middle gallery, and they deliver them, and we appreciate their storing our art so safely. And now I want to introduce Jayne Duryea, our featured artist, and see what she's got to say.
I really need this, but I'll use it. I can. First of all, thank you all for coming. I'm so glad you're here. It's so nice to see people coming in to enjoy the space. And thank you to the museum people for thanks to the museum people for having me here, inviting me here, Amy and the board. It's really wonderful to be in this space. It's kind of important to share the things that you do, and really it's special to see you here. It means a lot to me. I want you to find joy here and enjoy the work and be inspired to be creative, because that's going to give you some relaxation in this world and some calm and peace right now. So it's very difficult for a lot of people. Thank you, Fannin. So, first of all, let's see. In this gallery is my work, and whether it's a painting or glass, these glass pieces are either blown in Murano, Italy, or in Bevilian glass in Vigo at Coastal Bend College. An example is this is an 85-pound piece of glass, and you need a team to blow that, so it's kind of heavy on the edge of a blowpipe. And there's a picture of that in the back there to show you how many people it takes on a team to blow that work. That painting is my backyard, early morning. Some of these paintings have narratives for you to read, because I really don't want to tell you all about it. I want you to enjoy it and either read that or be inspired. But this is in the south of France, and this is in a town called Châteauneuf-de-Grasse, which is just outside of Grasse, or by Cannes or Nice, down towards the Mediterranean, if you've been in that area. It still exists today. If you could get in that garden, maybe you could. But over the wall is the Mediterranean, and it's just beautiful. So please do read that narrative when you get a chance. In the other room, we have some pieces of mine against this back wall, which were COVID related, and I can talk to you about that if you'd like to. And then we have an example of the glass blowing in my studio, what the materials and some of the equipment is. And then above that is a painting by Nat Diaz. Nat is one of the guest artists at the gallery, the Duryea Gallery in Leadville, and his work is on the right. He has landscapes that you may want to look at and talk to him about. But he did the portrait of me with my team in our Murano Glass Factory in Murano, really. On the other side is Natasha, and Tatiana isn't here tonight, but Natasha and Tatiana were guest artists for the Artist in Resident program at the Duryea Gallery, and they were chosen out of 8 to come in and do that in the summer, and we have them on display. an example about Natasha. When I saw her work, it may look not similar to you, but it is very similar in the sense that her pieces are very quiet and peaceful in the sense of producing many pieces and attaching and attaching and attaching, very meditative. Very much like my shell girl or my court chair. And those came about because of COVID. So there was, I'm a transcendental meditator for over 40 years, so the peace and quiet of the broom and stick was very calming. You might want to try that if you're not a meditator. But the gallery is filled with wonderful things, so please, I want you to enjoy it. And if you'd like to ask questions or talk, we'd be happy to talk with you. I know Matt would, and Natasha will be here to talk a little bit more if you'd like. And then also that mosaic is actually a copy of this painting. So this work is housed in Nave at the Nave Museum as a gallery and studio. And then there's also a gallery downtown Nave if you'd like to visit that. I'll take questions. Yeah.
I'd like to know how to get this business in the middle of that glass.
It's magic. Actually, it's really simple. You know, do you bake cakes?
A little bit.
Okay. When glass is molten, it will spread like ice. And so, have you ever done a candy apple and coated a candy apple? With caramel. Coated a candy apple with caramel? That's right. Have you ever coated a candy apple with caramel?
Sure, yeah.
Well, there you go. You're a glass blower. So actually,
Start with the interior.
all right.
Okay.
So you gather, which means take a bottle of glass and then make a pipe and shake it around with those tools and pick up color, and you know there's other colors like acrylic color, there's transparent in there, and then you sit down and you shape that heart. But you have to use tools and it's molten, so you're going to cut in the top of the heart, you're going to pull the bottom of the heart and have this heart into the blow light. Then you chill it. If you don't chill it, it'll all melt into itself. So you chill it in air, and you gather over a clear gather. Then you chill that, and you gather another. Gather means to coat it. And each coating, in that area, so when you gather glass over that, it'll capture the air. So in each of these bubbles is air from Italy, Murano, Italy. In those bubbles, encapsulated. So this is as large as we could get with the 6-man team in carrying an 85-pound piece of glass. And so if I hold the pipe like this, and they have a pipe here and they both hold it like this, or a rolling yoke, we can get it to the furnace and back. But it takes more than just 3, like we could do in Beeville. It takes 6 or more to move this around to do. So it's really simple. The only hard part is it is hot. And it will burn you real bad. So you have to be cautious about that. So hot molten glass. So it's sculptural form, just like these are sculptural form. But this is solid, and this is built. And then placed together, stuck together.
So, what would it take you to make something like this? Like, how many hours did you spend?
Well, we did a prototype, a small one first, to make sure we could all figure out what our parts were. And, you know, it probably took 40 years, probably, but now it's easy to do, but it can take a long time. You know, I know the process is ridiculous. If I could lift that anymore, and I can't lift like that anymore, I could produce a lot more, and it would be great, but I can't do it without a team anymore. So how long? I don't know. You got to go to Italy. You got to fly. You got to get a team going.
Yeah, but from start to finish, actually, without the design part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I could do it in an hour or less. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I mean, but I know what I'm doing now. So that's what the point is.
That's pretty amazing.
It's about practice, to learn practice, you know. So, but you can make paperweights like that. You know, little tiny paperweights, same process. It's just bigger and heavier. But it's just beautiful. I just love glass. and glass and shells and forks and watercolor. I work with plasma cutter and I work with found objects and all kinds of things. So it's not about the material, because I enjoy all kinds of materials. It depends on which one reflects what I want to do at that time. It's about expression, and it's about the content and what the artist has to say in their work, what they're talking about. So, this has a content, which you can read right here. The content of this is in memory of Robert Wilson. I don't know if you knew Robert Wilson's name. He was a glass artist. He was married to Margaret Pace Wilson, who did Conti and San Antonio. Remember that name? Yes. Well, anyway, they welcomed me to blow glass with them many times at the Arsenal Glass Factory. So the glass conference, where people come in from all over the world, were in Murano for the first time ever in the world, and that was 2018. So I had to go. I had to go in memory of him. And I had to work, I didn't have to, I felt I had to work with the factory to produce these things in memory of him, because all his friends were there, and I met all his friends. So when I went back, we're all old, and we're all still blowing glass, and they're the old group that's left, and they all remembered Robert and Margaret, and it was just the best time ever. It was just a wonderful event to go back. So the heart is the love of, hearts are corny, so is love. Some people, but not really. That's the major thing in life that's important is love, and that's corny, sorry. But the heart's for Robert and Margaret. It has XXO in there, and you've seen that before years ago in the 70s or 50s. The air is the breath of Italy, okay? The round form is that we've come full circle again. And the XXO is about kisses. So every time I leave Margaret and Robert's place, I'll just be talking outside, getting ready to get in my car, Robert would grab my head and kiss me on both cheeks, like an Italian. And when someone does that to you, you almost fall over because it scares you to death and you're shocked. But he would do it every time, and he would catch me every time. But, the Italian way to say goodbye. So anyway, there's great stories about art because it's about the time in your life that you were doing something particular. And then you can document it in the world with a work, because hopefully this will live longer than me, because art, if you take care of it, will last longer than the human body. So it's kind of interesting, the creativity that you all have, we all have, and you just have to be free enough to find it and use it and do it and develop it, because it's a scary thing. You can't be a faint of heart. You gotta be tough.
What did you start with painting the glass? How did you start as an artist?
My grandmother. Grandmothers are great influence on their grandkids. Tremendous. When I was in kindergarten, I was drawing, and I'll tell you the truth here, when I was in kindergarten, I was drawing this red julep. Probably was really terrible, ugly, but I thought it was beautiful. And then when Mark Hansen copied my red tulip, I thought, this must be important. And I was like 5 years old. But my grandmother Nana was my biggest influence. And so that's what the museum's about, in memory of her. Because there's a whole long story about all that, but that's what the museum's about. It's about memory. So, what else? You ready to go to the party? All right. Let's go.